Central.
Run.
Gareth Frank Bale, the man who played for the second greatest football club in history, Real Madrid. The man who scored one of the greatest goals in Champions League final history. The man who played alongside legends like Benzema, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Sergio Ramos. And now, he just exposed everything. In one of his recent interviews, Bale said things about Zidane, Ronaldo, and the entire Real Madrid team that he has never revealed before. Not once, not ever. And some of his answers, I promise you, will genuinely shock you. This is the story Real Madrid never wanted you to hear. Don't skip a single question. But before we start, hit that subscribe button. Let me start with the first question. In Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo, Benzema, Modric, Kroos, Ozil, and Di Maria, some of the greatest players ever assembled in one squad. So who did Gareth Bale say were the best players in training? Bale replied, Modric, Kroos, and Isco. Okay, Modric and Kroos, fine, that makes sense. But then Bale said something that stopped everyone. He said the most skillful player he ever played with in his entire career was Isco. Why not Ronaldo? And then he went even further. He said Isco is the closest player he has ever seen to Zinedine Zidane, the greatest technical player in football history. That is the highest compliment you can give any human being with a football at their feet. So why didn't he say Ronaldo? Ronaldo, the man who scored 50 goals a season, the man everyone calls the GOAT. Why is Bale picking Isco over him in training? Because in training, goals don't matter. Touch matters. Control matters. The ability to make the ball do exactly what you want every single time, that is what separates the truly gifted from the just brilliant. Ronaldo is a scoring machine, but Isco was an artist, and Bale saw it every single day. But the player Bale was actually closest to, the one who made him feel human at that club, was Luka Modric. Bale said, Luka Modric helped me so much. He was someone I could be with at Real Madrid. So once again, it's not Ronaldo, not Benzema, but Modric. The quiet Croatian who never shouts, never argues, never makes it about himself. He was the one who kept Bale grounded when everything around him felt hostile. Bale said Modric is the player he shared the most minutes with in his entire career, and he said it with a smile that told you everything about how much that friendship meant. He was fantastic for me, and he wasn't bad either. The interview was going well, but someone asked Bale who was the fastest player at Real Madrid. Now remember, Cristiano Ronaldo has spent his entire career telling everyone he is the fastest, but Bale looked at the camera and smiled. Cristiano would probably say the opposite, but I like to think it was me. Bale has been scientifically clocked as one of the fastest footballers ever recorded. He hit 36.9 kilometers per hour in a Champions League game. So is he wrong? Probably not. But Ronaldo would never admit it, not in a million years. But in the very next question, Bale called him the best player he ever played with. Fine, everyone says that. But then he said this. Before every match, we were certain he was going to score. Not hoped, certain. That belief alone, that single feeling in the dressing room, was worth more than any tactical system, any training session, any team talk. But here is where it gets interesting. Did Ronaldo get annoyed when Bale didn't pass to him? Yes, 100%. Because Messi was out there scoring every single week, and Ronaldo knew it. He felt it. Every goal he missed was a goal Messi might be scoring on the other side of the city. That is not jealousy. That is a man who cannot afford to relax, not even for 1 minute. Ronaldo wasn't just chasing goals, he was chasing Messi. Every single day, that obsession pushed him to score more, win more, be more. He simply could not afford to relax, not even for one game. And Real Madrid? They won 4 Champions Leagues riding that obsession. Messi never played for Real Madrid, but without him, those trophies might never have happened. Let's talk about Barcelona. In many questions about Barcelona, Bale was honest in a way most players never are. We simply knew we were going to be chasing the ball for 80 minutes. 80 minutes, the best squad in the world, and they knew before kickoff that Barcelona would dominate them completely. They were afraid of Barcelona as well as Lionel Messi. Like Marcelo, Pepe, and Casemiro, many other Madrid players have said it. Messi was not just dangerous, he was terrifying. A man who could destroy your entire defensive structure by himself. One-on-one, it's impossible to stop Messi. And Ronaldo, despite his obsession, despite his goals, felt that pressure every El Clasico. The fear was 100% real. So what did Real Madrid do during El Clasicos? They accepted it. They sat deep. They were absorbed, and they waited like a coiled spring for one single counterattack moment. They didn't try to outpossess Barcelona. They let Barca have the ball and punished them the second they lost it. That was the actual plan. By the way, which El Clasico was your favorite? Must comment your answer. Now let me tell you what Bale said about one of the greatest managers in football history. 3 Champions Leagues in a row, the greatest coaching run in modern football history, Zinedine Zidane. They asked a question about Zidane. What did he actually do in training? I'll be honest, Zidane didn't really do much. Wait, what do you mean Zidane did nothing? Then who was the actual reason for all the trophies until 2018 and 2019 season? Bale said before a Clasico against Barcelona, 15 minutes of defensive shape, a few passing drills, shooting practice, then go home. 15 minutes to prepare for Barcelona with the Champions League trophy on the line. So how do you win 3 European Cups doing almost nothing? Because Zidane understood something most coaches never learn. When you have Ronaldo, Modric, Kroos, Ramos, Benzema, your job is not to coach them. Your job is to protect their confidence, keep them happy, and stay out of their way. His reputation as the greatest player ever gave him instant authority without saying a single word. Sometimes the smartest thing a manager can do is nothing. Another question, who was the real leader of that Real Madrid dressing room? You'd say Ronaldo, the captain, the best player, the man with the records. But Bale said no. The team's true leader was clearly Sergio Ramos. Ronaldo led by scoring, by performing, by being the best player on the pitch. But Ramos led by feeling, by screaming, by bleeding, by making every player in that dressing room feel like they were going to war together and that they were going to win. Those are 2 completely different kinds of leadership, and Real Madrid needed both. Ronaldo could inspire you with a goal. Ramos could make you run through a wall, and in a Champions League final, you need both of those things. In one of his questions, Bale called Carlo Ancelotti the best manager he ever worked under, not because of tactics, not because of systems. Even if you weren't playing, he made you feel like his best friend. That is the Real Madrid rule. Keep the stars happy, keep the egos balanced, keep everyone feeling important, even the ones on the bench. Mess that up, and the dressing room turns against you, which is exactly what Bale said happened with Xabi Alonso. He wasn't surprised Alonso was sacked. At Real Madrid, if you try to do too much tactically, if you put the system above the players, it does not work. It has never worked. The players are bigger than any system at that club. No coach at Real Madrid has ever survived by being tactically complex. The ones who win, Ancelotti, Zidane, manage people first. The ones who fail try to manage the game first. That is the Madrid code, and Alonso learned it the hard way. And now, the part that hurts. One match, Bale was injured. He left the stadium at the 80th minute to avoid traffic, something all the players did, every single one of them. Madrid lost. Next morning, his face was on the front page of the newspaper. Not his teammates, him, even though he did exactly what they did. But why did they target only Bale? This wasn't just one moment, this was years of being an outsider. The Welsh guy who didn't speak Spanish fluently, the one who went home to play golf instead of staying in Madrid during international breaks. The media built a narrative about him, and Real Madrid never protected him from the narrative, not once. After 4 Champions Leagues, after that overhead kick, after everything, they let the press destroy him and said nothing. He retired early. He walked away from football at 33. And when you hear all of this, you start to wonder, Was it really his choice, or did Real Madrid quietly push one of their greatest ever players out the door? Wales, golf, Madrid. In that order, he said once as a joke, but maybe it wasn't fully a joke. And one last thing. Manchester United also offered him more money. He spoke with David Moyes. The deal was ready. He said no, he chose Madrid. He gave them everything, years of his life, 4 Champions Leagues, moments that will live forever in football history. And somehow, it still wasn't enough for them to treat him fairly. Gareth Bale deserved better, and deep down, I think Real Madrid know it too. If this video made you see him differently, subscribe, it helps more than you know. And drop a comment, did Real Madrid disrespect Gareth Bale? Yes or no? Let's settle this.